All right, please welcome my good friend, Mr. Steve KINNE. Steve has lived in Houston your whole entire life. Went to the great Texas A&M University. Whoop. And Gig'em. And Steve started his amazing career off as unbelievably, a floor salesman at Foley's department store.
A sales manager and buyer and assistant buyer.
Assistant buyer?
No, wait. But is there an intro? Is there like intro like Theo Vaughn's intro in this?
Yes.
Is this like cool? People like us?
It's already happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he started off in the late...
Is it cool though?
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
You'll like it. It's probably not for you. It's in the ladies' shoe department at Foley's, and then moved up in his life to become now, as we refer to in the industry, a top producing real estate agent.
Lord help me.
For 20 years. And you're really about one of the smartest guys I know in real estate. So I was like, I got to have Steve on. One, because I have a good time with you. You're going to say something that's probably going to be offensive. And then two, maybe not really offensive, but whatever. And then two, I want people to hear about the investment game in Houston, because you are the OG investor in Houston. You're live in Houston, breathe Houston, and invest in Houston. You're not like these guys coming from California bringing all their cash and not knowing what they're buying.
The OG investor that doesn't own a spreadsheet to his name, right? Everything is calculated right here. Good,
Yes.
bad. Did I get rent? I do keep track of rent. I do tally that.
So when a deal comes into your email box, your phone call or text or whatever, what percentage now at this point are snap calls versus like back in the day when you're like, let me run some comps and figure out rental prices and all that?
Snap call, you mean I just know?
Yeah. So in poker, snap call. Do you know what that is?
No, I play, as you know, I play blackjack, Ryan.
And
thank you.
Your move is this. But snap call in poker is like you see the flop,
Yeah,
or you,
all of
or
them.
sorry,
them.
someone
100%.
someone bets you, and based on what they bet and what you have in your
Yep.
cards, you go boom, all in.
Got it. Okay, so I can immediately tell if it's a no. If it's a no, then I know it's a no. But if it's a possible yes, then I'll be like, oh, let me then run, or let me map it to see if it backs up to the railroad tracks or whatever. So pretty much instantaneously. Yeah.
Which doesn't come for the new investor, which, just so you know, dude, I mean,
Yeah.
you know this, but like most people are like, have not done anything. I mean,
Well, everybody calls and they says, I'm a real estate investor. I say, okay, great. Step right up. You and everybody else.
Yes.
Right? How many houses do you own? None, but I'm just getting started.
That's right.
I listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we are.
So what got you into real estate investing? How'd you get started? What was your first property you bought? And then, walk us through the step of what made you go in there. Obviously, you were, by the way, real quick, the ladies' shoe salesman thing. I mean, were you really a ladies' shoe salesman?
Okay, so I will tell you, I received 30. This was I graduated at the .com bust, right?
Right.
Not 99. I was going in 99, 2000. Man, we were toast. I got 30 decline letters out of A&M. I got one acceptance letter to go to Foley's in their buyer and training program, and part of that was going into the stores. 6 months in the office and 6 months in stores. I got to the stores.
So you were going to go the corporate route.
I was a corporate. I was a corporate executive, knucklehead.
I mean,
But part of my training was you had to go into the stores, and then my 6-month training ended up being 5 years because of transfers and promotions and what have you. That was my niche because, as you and I know, maybe me more than you, I like being in the trenches. I'm in the trenches in real estate.
Right.
You dip into the trenches and then you jump out.
That's true.
Right? And then you call me, what should I do? Right? So I live in the trenches. If I'm not in the trenches, I found that I'm not happy. So that's where I was at. Now I'm here in real estate.
But I'm saying is like, did you have when you were graduating college, were you wanting, I mean, you weren't wanting to go into real estate, right?
I didn't know anything about it.
Right. But you wanted to
Make all the money.
You want to make all the money,
Yeah.
and you thought the corporate route was the way to go.
No, that's the only person that accepted me. This was the 90s. There was no influencers. There was no there was no gig jobs.
Side hustles?
There was no side. This didn't exist. You shaved your face because they wouldn't hire if you had any facial hair. You and I would not get a corporate job in the 90s.
Right. I can
And
imagine
then you just prayed.
I've never seen you one time without at least some facial hair.
Well, I had a goatee and I refused to cut it, and therefore I got 30 declination letters. It was well trimmed. I'm always well groomed.
Who was the of the decline letters you got? Who was the most like humbling of all of them? Like, did you get turned down by like Arby's or something like that?
No. I was really upset when Target declined me to go to their corporate in Minneapolis or wherever it was.
Because you were doing all corporate stuff.
Well, I had made it to the third round of interviews, and then they were like, no. And I'm like, what? Bro. But whatever. Carry on.
All right.
Real estate.
So what got you in the investment game?
Well, when I left, I had a 401k to roll over, an IRA, and I always wanted to get into it. I didn't have any money in 07, 08 when the subprime debacle happened, but I got my parents to start investing. They were retired at the time. I sold them a number of bungalows in the Heights. If you know the Heights in Houston, all the way up, nothing can stop you. At that time, we were talking about bungalows in the 70s and 80s, 90s, and 100. You could buy a bungalow with 2 garage apartments for 120. That's unheard of right now. And so I made my parents.
Oh God!
Oh, sorry.
That's right. No, that's all right. That's
Oh
right.
God!
We didn't buy
No,
more.
God,
Right?
please, no!
So I sold these to my parents, and I made them tons and tons of money. Oh, you barely even took a drink, Ryan.
I'm sorry, dude.
Short circuit the gosh. Okay, so anyway, while we wait for the janitorial staff. Okay, so I made my parents a bunch of money in the Heights, right?
Yes.
You were waiting for that?
Yes.
Made them a bunch of money in the Heights. And I couldn't afford to get into the Heights. And so, Ryan, you're not incredible. So I couldn't afford to get in the Heights, right? Is my mic right now?
Yeah,
am I good?
Yeah.
Okay. So we did that, and I thought, where can I go? So I started to have a lot of investment experience, and so I started selling to my friends and colleagues and what have you. And I could
investment properties.
All properties, but I feel, going back to the trenches, I feel good in the trenches, and the trenches are these ugly, terrible hoarder houses, horrible, where they're filled with trash and junk and fleas, and I don't like fleas, but you know what I'm saying. The value is there.
Didn't you recently have a flea house?
I was in a house today that I kind of was like, are there fleas on me? You just feel it, right?
Yeah.
People have fleas in their house. I don't know how, but anyway, call me for more details. I can sell you a house too. So where I could afford was Sunnyside, right? So I rolled over that 401k, that self-directed IRA, started that. I started accumulating houses in Sunnyside. One house for 30K, one house for 40K, another house for 35K. This is back when you could buy houses for 40 and 30K. It started developing my portfolio that way while I was growing other people in their portfolios.
But what made you decide to go, I'm going to Sunnyside?
That was all I could afford.
Okay. But you were just like, okay, cool. I can only afford this amount because there's a lot of investors out there going, all right, let me just pull up the deal. If I can find a $120,000 house, that's all I've got. I'm just gonna pick that one.
Well,
is it because was your theory home prices always go up?
Home prices always go up, and where can you buy, and where can you cash flow, and where can you grow your investment? So, Sunnyside has been shunned for many, many years. I mean, people don't go there, and Third Ward and Fifth Ward and all these areas were underdeveloped. And frankly, I had to grow a love of Fifth Ward and Third Ward and Sunnyside because that's all I could afford, right? And so at that time, I was able to accumulate these houses. And people, some of these guys. I mean, if you're in Houston, these are notoriously tough areas. There's a lot of drugs. There's a lot of crime, and I grew a pretty good affinity for the areas, and I've never had any problems really. And the tenants are good. The tenants are loyal. They always pay. I'm a good landlord. They're good tenants, and so I started to grow that over time. And now I'm kind of like, I don't want to say the mayor of Sunnyside because I'm obviously a very small fish, but I know the streets. I know a lot of the places. I know, which areas are growing faster, which areas are slow, which areas are flood zones, so on and so forth. And I've got a lot of houses down there now. So
that's a very niche investment strategy in Houston. Not everybody's done that. What would you say is like the most common investment strategy that most investors, not just the ones you've worked with, but everybody, all investors in Houston have used to do in Houston? Residentially, single family, condos, multifamily, whatever you want to go. We're out there, but not commercial.
So you haven't introduced my drink of choice as
that's at the end,
as you say. But they're going to be asking about it. Ryan spilled it. This is Hendrix and soda, not tonic, soda, and 2 limes. Ryan has.
Do you want me to go ahead? I'll go ahead and rate it if you want me to rate it.
I don't care if you rate it or not. It's my drink.
the reason that I do like this, which I'm going to go ahead and say this, by the way, we actually recorded this a week ago.
Yeah, you didn't have a chip in there. We talked for an hour, and you had no had no chip.
And the chip was in there. The card was corrupt, and that is
Lord
what it is. But we're here. But
we need an excuse to drink
this
again.
is actually a better time because it's more warm, and I feel like
it's nighttime, so we don't have to go back to work after this.
Yes, correct. But I'm gonna give you a good 8.2. Congrats. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. And for the people that maybe were probably not watching, for the people that are watching, Ryan's basically the love of my life. We've traveled 13 times together to Vegas and Nashville and who knows where else, Dallas and maybe California, what have you.
All for real estate adventures.
All for real estate and whiskey adventures.
And whiskey.
And partying adventures.
Yes, right.
And so Ryan and I have been drinking together for many, many years. Ryan is the love of my life. So when people call me, they always say, "Oh, I'm a real estate investor." No, you're not. You watched a couple shows. You watched Flip This House, and you're like, "Oh, I'm a gangster now." Baby, I'm a gangster too. No.
That's copyrighted.
You call. I sang it. And there's a limit, right? There's like a 2-second limit. Okay, 6-second limit. So with that being said, everybody calls, they want to make cash flow. And what I always tell people, this right up from the front. If you want somebody to hold your hand, I'm free. You don't even have to pay me. I'm an expert, trust me, in real estate investment. You don't have to pay me. I'm not going to help you with spreadsheets because I don't have any. But I'm going to tell you in my mind, that's even more important. I don't even need a spreadsheet.
Right.
Is you're not going to make cash flow in Houston. You can debate me if you want to. Maybe if there's 100 houses to buy and invest in, maybe 3 of them you'll cash flow with $200, $300.
Today, not always.
Today, not always. Today. If you want to get into today, you can debate me if you want. But what I tell people is, you call me, you have a job, right? Yeah, I'm an analyst. I'm an engineer. I'm a nurse practitioner. I'm a this, that. I'm a doctor, whatever. You don't need the money. You go to work to make the money. What are you going to do with $100, $200 a month? You're going to go out to dinner at Perry's Steakhouse with your wife. You're going to go to, Papacitos twice.
Right.
You don't need the money. What you want to do is you want to kind of try to break even and let the houses pay for themselves. What you're worrying about is the long term. Why are you buying a house? To build wealth. You don't need $100 a month. You want to build wealth. So, right now I've got 26 properties. My rental account it's in shambles, right? With taxes and insurance and all these things. It's terrible at all times. You're always like just juggling to let all the houses pay for themselves. The deal is that the appreciation from what I bought is so much greater than what you bought for. Stop thinking small. Stop thinking, and there's other real estate experts that might debate me, right? If you're getting commercial, if you're getting development, all these things, fine. I'm talking to the individual investor. Don't worry about cash flow. Worry about appreciation and know what you're buying. And then in 20 years, your 300 is now 900, or your 500 is now 3 million, based upon your risk tolerance, right? I've got a lot of people with a lot of different risk tolerance. I'm not going to put everybody in the same thing or attempt to. It's what's your goal? What do you want to do? And if you let me help you, let's go.
But it's acquisition. It's just gaining as many properties you can. Because I mean, the ideal is that like, hey, you buy a property at like you were buying at $100K, and what do you typically do in notes, like 20 year, 15 years, something like that?
Well, I see. I've exhausted all my cash. Right. I've moved cash. I've done all this stuff. I will take a note. I'll take a note at 10%. I don't care. People want to worry about cost. People want to worry about small. Oh man, that's so expensive. Back in the day, 7%, 8%. Oh my gosh, that's so expensive. Now that's a normal rate. I mean, 6.5%, 7%. Oh my gosh, 11%, 10% interest. That's so expensive. Stop. Look, I want to own the house. Right. Once I own the house, I can figure out how to do it later. I might pay you 10% or 11% for 4 or 6 or even 12 months, and then I'll parlay into something else. So right now I've got a commercial loan with a small bank that I've developed a relationship with. I've got a packaged loan where I've got a number of houses in this deal, and it's at 4.95. So these small banks will work with you if you're bringing the business and if you're depositing money with them. So real estate is really a relationship game, just like life. The more people you know and the more people that you trust and they trust you, I think the more money for everybody.
But ideally, like you buy a property at 100K, and how long are you typically paying on that till you own it outright?
Ryan, all my properties I own cash,
Right?
Because I've moved them all around, but
when you started, well, you did buy
when
them
I
cash.
started, I bought them all cash,
Yeah, right.
Because I started with $169,000 from my 401k rollover,
Right.
My pension, whatever I had, and what did I buy? Like five $30,000 houses, or whatever, and then you were able to expand that and leverage and move and buy some and sell some and what have you. We built some, and so there are a lot of different avenues based upon your risk tolerance. But right now, the commercial, for instance, a commercial loan I have, whatever the bank tells me they're going to give me is essentially what I take, unless I can work a little bit. So they gave me a 5.95 rate for a 20-year amortization. Rates went down a couple of years ago. I said, hey, I'm paying 5.95. Can you help me out? It was a handshake deal. Yeah, we'll do 4.95. These small banks are your friend.
Right.
So they just said, hey, 4.95, sign here, we're good. 20-year AM. So am I making any money on these properties? No. But have they all tripled in value,
Right.
quadrupled? Yes.
But that's what I'm saying, is that like, 10, 20 years from now, you're owning 30 properties.
I own all of them cash.
And they're all, not only are they not worth $100,000 what you originally bought for them, now they're worth $300,000-$400,000.
Yep.
And now you're, what is that? You're like $12 million
So we've gone from hundreds to millions.
Right.
It's gonna be hard for me and my longevity to go into 8 figures,
Right,
right?
for sure.
You want to move and you're tired. We're
Right.
tired
Right.
already, right? It's just, what do you need to then ride off into the sunset or be comfortable and carry on? The inhibition or whatever that people have is they're paralyzed to take the first step.
Yeah.
Once you take the first step, you got to have caution, because then you get snake bit. Then you want to buy everything. You have, one of my buddies calls it happy years. Anybody that says anything is happy years, you want to buy it. That's when I come in and say, no, you're not buying that.
Right.
Right. So I got to encourage you to take the first step, and then I stop you after that. Carry on.
What is the best first step? Location, price, setup, cap rate, all that stuff. What is that? I mean, what do you think it is right now in Houston for someone? I know it's hard for you. I know it's hard for you to do this, but because there's a couple just listen for a second, because there's the 30-year-old investor, or not, as you say, who says I'm an investor. Mm-hmm. They got some money saved up, and they want to put it into real estate, and they want to go into real estate investment. They don't want to put it in the market and risk that, and they're very nervous and they don't know what to do. That's who you're speaking to.
Forget about it.
And you got to. I want you to say it in 1 or 2 sentences. What would you tell them to do?
Depends on how much cash you have. If you got 100K, you buy 2 cookie cutter properties at $140 each. You lease them for $1,250, and you pay the bills and you sit on them. You're not making any money. You're worried about equity. Okay, you're worried about appreciation. Okay, do that. Set it and forget it.
Got it. Okay.
If you've got $350, you buy land and you build.
Got it. Okay. All right. What is the?
You build a duplex.
Yes.
And you lease each side.
And that actually can cash flow.
Yes, I'm cash flowing on the duplexes I'm building.
All right. So tell me too. Dude. I mean, of anyone I know in the world besides real estate, you have the craziest stories. And I wish I could just share. I wish I could just do a whole episode on stories I've experienced with you, which is probably 5% of your entire life. But
most of it has to deal with whiskey.
Yeah,
yes. And I've got a really loving, charming personality that everybody likes.
Yes. What in real estate related?
Yeah.
What you got to pick one. Which story? And then I'm going to pick one if you don't tell it. But which story would you say is the craziest thing that's happened to you in either real estate or investment side of it, whether it was a tenant or whatever?
Okay, so the quickest story, I'll say the wildest story, which really, it was an unfortunate story for everybody. And I don't know that there's any blame for anybody. If it would be the other agent. But essentially, I had a property under contract. It was an investment property. that my client had owned, and it had appreciated probably double, right? He said, well, let's get out of it. It was owner occupied, so we have tax benefits, so on and so forth after the rental. So we sold it in this area. It was nice. It was cool. We had already negotiated repairs. We were through that period. We were waiting for a survey. We were waiting for appraisal. The surveyors went there and they said, hey, what's the code to the back gate? I said, there's no combo. Yeah, there's a combo. I said, I don't know. And I told them the combo. They're like, no, it doesn't work. I said, you're at the wrong house. You got to be at the wrong house. I said, well, go through the door. They opened the combo in the door. It worked. It was my combo. These investment properties, I use combos. I don't use a super because I got a lot of people in and out. So they walk in. There's people in there. They leave. I said, no. There's nobody there. It's a vacant house. No, there's people there. I said, son of a gun. So they end up leaving. The appraiser comes over next. Same thing. I'm like, what is going on? Okay. So we find out, we call the police, right? The police say, no, there's people here. There's somebody, we hear stuff inside. Then they leave because they're not going to enter the house without us. We don't know. So we put a scout on the house. I'm getting in here. They're scouting the house, right? They leave for dinner break or whatever. We get a call from the neighbor. Hey, they're back. The police roll around like man, their guns are blazing because they're annoyed at this point because they had been there. Everybody had the appraiser, the surveyor, so on and so forth. The gosh darn buyer had the code that the agent had given to him, and all he wanted to do was go make updates and paint and fix stuff and whatever after hours during the transaction before close. So it would be done before close.
So it had not closed yet, and he was in there.
It did not close. He's remodeling the house. Hey, we like it. It's fine. You're painting. You're doing stuff. Whatever. They arrested the buyer. I get a call from the agent. Oh, what the heck? You arrested my buyer? I'm like, bro, why is the buyer in the house remodeling? Don't give the codes to the buyer.
No.
I mean, and if you're going to give the code, which don't, at least let me know before I get arrested. The buyer was so mad they got out and terminated the deal. I'm like, what? How am I supposed to? I'm trying to save your house you're buying in 2 weeks. I didn't know it was you. I got the buyer arrested. That's a wild story. Real estate is wild because you're dealing with the consumer, and the consumer doesn't know.
Yes.
It's our job to tell the consumer.
The other story I was going to just share, because I was at home when this happened. I was at home watching the news, and I'm watching the news, and they're like, oh my gosh, this car has literally...
Trifling. He was trifling.
Trifling. Ran through the house of a house up in Third Ward, and little to know, come to find out, you were the owner of, that was your tenant's house.
It was my house. This is third party information, right?
Yes.
The boyfriend was cheating on the girlfriend. The girlfriend was chasing the boyfriend. Whether the girl was in the car or not, I don't know. This is all third hand information. Please don't share this with you because they don't care. They want to move on to the next deal.
Right.
She's chasing this dude. There's a dip in the road before my house, and I guess they're driving like 80 and a 40.
Yeah.
Right. He makes it through. She loses control, drives through the yard, through the house. Grandma was on the bed here.
Was this pier and beam, by the way?
Slab.
Okay.
Son was playing video games here. I mean, they went right in between them. Right in between. Through the bedrooms, through the hallway, through the entryway, through the kitchen, and the garage wall stopped them.
God.
Insurance paid. Can you tell me? Traumatizing.
They stay? Did they stay?
6 years. Yeah, they stayed another 4 years.
Okay. Did it happen again?
It happened again. And I installed.
Wait,
it happened again.
Is it something with that road? It was like a bump or something that makes them.
It's that bump, and I guess if people that are driving 70 or 80. So what I did, and this time they went through the driveway, they crashed through their cars, and they crashed into the neighbor's house. Now I installed balusters or whatever, cedar or pine planks,
because you thought it was gonna happen again?
Intertwined with braided wire.
Oh my Lord.
So if somebody hits that thing again, they better be I don't want to say going faster, please don't go. If they hit that thing again, they're going to have to pull out 8 or whatever, how many are there before they hit that house. It shouldn't happen again. Oh my gosh. I just can't take it.
Another question for you.
Yeah.
When you're it seems like a lot of investors, when they get in the game and you're representing them, and I've had this with my own clients that are investors, and they're like horrible negotiators. They're just like, hey, I mean, it's already a low price, and then they're like,
what can we get it for?
Yeah, can we get it low? And you're like, fine, I just want to make it fair. I'll make it a win-win, but I think you're one of the best negotiators I know. What would you say is the key to success in negotiating, especially in investment properties?
So one thing I say to my clients is knock it off. I'm not scared to tell my client to knock it off, right? I see you're thinking about this much of the picture.
Right.
Worry about the whole thing.
The big picture.
Stop losing the house over $500.
Right.
Stop. Just stop. I don't like nonsense, right? I want you to win, and you get in the way of your own winning because you're worried about something you saw on YouTube. Forget that. But the way that I negotiate effectively is I always draw the other party in as a partner. So I use the words collaboration. I use the word partner with me. I use the sentence, let's you and I work together. And as soon as you come with those terms, people let their guard down. And it's not that I'm saying that to take advantage of them. It's that in deals in business, I mean, people will dispute me on this as well. Deals in business, I think, are a collaborative effort.
For sure.
And if everybody doesn't act like an asshole and try to like get crazy and win and steamroll everybody, I think you benefit better. And at closing, everybody's happy. On my deals, people are happy.
Right.
And right now, nobody's happy ever. And I aim to make everybody happy. I aim to get a goal where everyone's happy.
All right, a couple last questions. What advice do you have for someone who is just starting out in real estate investing? Makes you tired thinking about it.
I'm tired, man. Well, okay, the one thing I would say is I get these calls from people, and they call and they want to pump me for information, and then they don't need me.
Right.
Realtors are a commodity, right? There's so many of us. What you have to do is you need someone like me or yourself that has been here to guide you. And you think you're going to get a worse deal, or you think you're going to give your whatever, find the right person for you, but you do need somebody that's going to guide you, because I don't care about a dollar. I don't care about making money. I don't. And what I found in life, and you would agree with me, the less that we care about making money, the more money we make.
100%. Yeah.
I don't give a shit about money.
Yeah.
I care about you and winning for you.
Right.
And winning for everybody. But winning, just selling you a winning deal, I get so pumped when I sell the right house to the right person, or I win in multiple offers if I know it's the right house for them. And in the end, I get paid, and that's great. That's how I pay my bills. But I really don't care. So what I would say, if you're getting into investments in Houston or anywhere, find the greatest agent that is geared towards investment, because there are tons of residential agents that don't know or understand or care or want to do investment. You've got to find the gangsters like me and you that know how to do it.
Yeah.
I say gangsters, I mean the guys that are in the trenches, the guys that really care about in investment, the guys that really know investment, not just I can sell a house in a subdivision.
All right, last question.
Yeah.
Which is a two-part question. You gotta make it really concise, but we're not getting the details, but I want you to tell me this. What's your worst investment and what's your best investment? What you buy it for, what you sell it for, what you make? Or what you lose on your worst?
Ryan, that's not a real question.
Why is that not a real question?
I make money on all my investments.
Okay, so then fine.
I've never lost money on investment.
All right, so what's the least you made on it, or whatever? Just what you buy it for, what you sell it for, or what you whatever.
Ryan, I still own all my stuff. and it's fine.
There's some stuff you sold off though.
I sold one property to venture into another business.
Right.
I still doubled my money on the real estate deal. I went to a total other industry.
Right.
And it didn't work out, and I didn't make any money.
Right. So that was your worst.
That's my worst, but I didn't lose it from real estate. I still doubled in real estate. So the deal in real estate is longevity.
Yeah.
And just buy and set it and forget it, right? What Ronco, remember what he was cooking that chicken, set it and forget it, he said.
That's right.
Just set it and forget it.
All right. Last thing I do on my show is rapid fire.
Come on, Ryan.
And you have to ask.
Night.
I know that's not your favorite. You have to give 1-word answers to this.
Yeah.
Who do you text the most?
You and my wife. Ryan and I are in love. All these years. I talk to Ryan 10 times a day.
What is your favorite word in another language?
Donde?
Yeah, you do. You say that a lot.
Donde? Where are you?
What's your favorite type of weather?
I love cold, cloudy weather, or even if it's not cold, if it's very, very overcast and super dismal. But that also means that a lot of my appointments are going to cancel so I can stay at home because I work from home, and I'm going to drink black coffee all day long. And after 3:30 p.m., it's going to switch to whiskey. Sorry, that's more than one word, but I had to give. I
knew it wasn't going to. Describe your style in 1 word.
My clothing style. Everybody says I'm metro, or I'm
1 word, please.
Yeah. Okay. What? Straight. Ryan. My mental style or my clothing style?
Your style, your general style.
Let's just say metro.
Okay. Anything you were afraid of as a kid?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. I don't know.
What's your favorite genre of music?
90s alternative rock and Morgan Wallen.
Favorite breakfast?
Cheeseburgers.
Favorite dinner?
Cheeseburgers.
Who's your favorite Disney character?
I don't do Disney.
What is your favorite way to work out? Currently, I know what it is.
I'm on an 80-day streak on Peloton. That's all I can say.
I'm impressed with that. That's really impressive. All right, last question. I ask this to every single person. You have 24 hours.
Yeah.
All right. Money is no object. You can buy whatever you want to buy, although it goes away at the end of the deal. Time is no object. You can travel to anywhere you want to travel. Where would you go? What would you do? Who would you do it with?
Didn't you ask me this last time? I didn't know.
No, you did. You told me.
What did I say? I said I would probably, my wife hates it, but I would be partying in Broadway in Nashville, just straight up party. Morgan Wallen would be there.
And you would have hired Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, Morgan would be there. Morgan,
with you.
I've been with you since before, but Morgan Wallen would be there. And we would be at the stage, and they wouldn't kick me out. And you'd be there, and Jen would be there. Man, it would be a party like my 40th birthday
Can
party
Lo come along?
Lo can come.
All right, cool.
Let's do this.
All right, man. Hey, by the way, thanks for coming. Steve and I are in part of this little group we call the Members Only, which is a few.
What do we call it? OG Taters now.
Oh yeah, OG Taters, because we're all like into
Whiskeys.
whiskey.
We're all whiskeys.
Craig Fortson, who, if you need a CPA, he probably doesn't want you to call him unless
don't call him unless you've got at least 20 million.
Yes. Carrie, if you need ranch real
Kate
estate.
Fletch.
And Joe Kavanaugh, who
He definitely doesn't want you to call him.
No, he does not want you to call him. But we talk to each other every day. Steve, great for being here, dude. He's awesome. Steve, if people want to follow you on social, YouTube, whatever, where they find you
at the KINNE group, KINNE group, and remember, I went viral on TikTok last.
did.
2.6 million
with the Amazon door.
2.6 million now.
That's
Whoa,
awesome.
That's crazy.
So the at the KINNE group on Instagram, and then
The KINNE group.
YouTube. You Google the KINNE group, you'll find it.
OG KINNE on TikTok. OG KINNE on TikTok. Let's do this.
All right, guys. Thank you all for joining. We'll see you next time.